On the night I was born, my father looked at me with disgust and said, "We don't need her. Only the boy stays." And just like that, my own parents abandoned me, their newborn daughter. But fate had bigger plans for me. Years later, the same parents who threw me away ended up on their knees, begging me for help. And that day, they finally realized what it meant to reject me. Hi, my name is Mia, and this is the story of how betrayal turned me into someone my parents never imagined I'd become. A story of pain, survival, success, and the sweetest revenge. I was born in New York into a wealthy family. My father, Richard, was a proud, arrogant businessman who only cared about power and legacy. My mother, Linda, followed his lead in everything. On the night of my birth, my mother gave birth to twins, my brother, Noah, and me. But instead of celebrating us both, my father only saw value in him. Wrapped in silk and surrounded by family, Noah was introduced as the heir of the Carter family. And me. I was left in the shadows. I didn't understand it then. I was just a baby. But I grew up hearing the whispers. Richard only wanted a son. The girl was left behind. Yes, they abandoned me that very night. While Noah was raised in luxury, I was left outside the hospital doors like garbage. But destiny had other plans. A poor woman named Grace, who worked as a janitor in the hospital, found me crying. She could have walked away, but she didn't. She took me home. Grace didn't have money, didn't have family, didn't even have a stable roof over her head. But what she gave me was priceless. Love. She became my whole world. Growing up, I wore thrift clothes while Noah wore designer suits. I ate leftovers while he dined in luxury hotels. But Grace always told me, "Mia, it's not about what you wear or eat. It's about what you carry in here." She'd point to my head and my heart. Those words stayed with me. Meanwhile, Noah was spoiled rotten. He was arrogant, careless, and addicted to luxury. Teachers complained, relatives whispered, but my parents still adored him. To them, he was the golden boy. What they didn't know was that the golden boy would soon burn their empire to ashes. And the girl they threw away? She was going to rise from those ashes. While Noah was wasting millions on parties and luxury cars, I was studying under a streetlight because we couldn't even afford electricity. But what my brother didn't know was, the girl he looked down on would one day control everything he lost. Growing up with Grace wasn't easy. Some nights, we had no food. Some winters, our heater broke down and we slept shivering under old blankets. But Grace never let me feel poor in spirit. She worked double shifts, cleaning offices by day, scrubbing floors by night, just to keep me in school. I still remember, when I was 10, she bought me a second-hand book set. She said, "Knowledge is the only weapon the rich can't take away from you." And from that day, I swore I'd use that weapon. I studied harder than anyone else. I was the kid who teachers remembered, who never gave up, even when bullies mocked me for my worn-out shoes. Meanwhile, Noah? He was living the dream, or at least that's what Instagram showed. Expensive watches, fast cars, VIP clubs. He flaunted everything. But behind those pictures was a truth no one saw. He was sinking. He was failing classes, wasting family money, and getting into fights. My father ignored every warning sign. To him, Noah was untouchable. By the time I turned 18, I earned a full scholarship to one of the top business schools in the country. I still remember holding that acceptance letter in my hands, tears rolling down my face. Grace hugged me and whispered, "This is your ticket, Mia. This is where your real journey begins." College wasn't easy either. I worked part-time jobs, waitressing, tutoring, even cleaning dorms, just to survive. But slowly, I started building connections. Professors noticed me, mentors supported me, and soon, I was interning with major companies. And then something changed. I saw how businesses worked, how money moved, how people in power thought. And I realized I could build my own empire. While Noah was blowing inheritance money, I was creating opportunities. While he was drunk in nightclubs, I was drafting my first business plan in a coffee shop. And within a few years, my small startup started making waves. Investors noticed. People started trusting me. The girl they threw away was becoming someone impossible to ignore. But here's the twist. The same time my company was rising, my father's empire was falling. Because Noah, my golden boy brother, was tearing it apart from the inside. Noah thought money would never run out. But money disappears fast, when arrogance burns it faster than fire. And when everything collapsed, guess who they had to beg for? Noah's life was a highlight reel of disasters. By 25, he had totaled 2 sports cars, dropped out of college, and gotten arrested twice for bar fights. But every time, my father bailed him out. Meanwhile, my company, what started as a small consulting firm, was now expanding. I had offices, employees, and contracts with businesses bigger than I ever dreamed of. And the irony? Some of those contracts used to belong to my father's company. Because Noah was bleeding their finances dry. Lavish parties, failed investments, gambling, everything crashed. I heard whispers in the business community. The Carters are going bankrupt. The golden boy ruined everything. And for the first time, the mighty Carter name was a joke. Mini hook, middle suspense. Then came the night everything changed. Foreclosure letters, debts piling up, and the family that once abandoned me was about to lose it all. Noah was kicked out of clubs for unpaid tabs. Creditors showed up at their mansion gates. And the empire my father built for his perfect son crumbled like sand slipping through fingers. One night, I got a call. It was my mother. Her voice shook as she whispered, "Mia, we need help. Please." Can you imagine? The same woman who tossed me away as a baby was now begging for my mercy. I wanted to hang up. I wanted to laugh in her face. But instead, I just said, "Send me the address. I'll come tomorrow." They didn't know the successful businesswoman they were about to meet was the same baby they threw away. And when I walked into that ruined mansion, revenge had never tasted so sweet. When I walked into that broken mansion, I wasn't just a stranger offering help. I was the ghost of their biggest mistake, standing right in front of them. The Carter mansion wasn't really a mansion anymore. The chandeliers were gone, furniture sold, paint peeling from the walls. The same home I was once denied entry to looked like an abandoned cage. I stepped inside, heels clicking against the cracked marble. My parents sat in the living room, heads lowered, clothes wrinkled, eyes hollow. For a moment, I just stood there, watching them. The people who once believed a daughter wasn't worth keeping, now waiting for me to save them. They didn't recognize me. But oh, I recognized every wrinkle, every expression, and I was ready. "Thank you for coming," my mother whispered. Her voice, once filled with arrogance, now trembled with desperation. My father, the man who once called me useless, couldn't even look me in the eye. He just muttered, "We need financial assistance. We'll pay you back. Please." Oh, the irony. The same man who threw me away like garbage was now begging me like a beggar. I smiled politely. "Tell me something. How did all this happen?" And as they explained Noah's reckless gambling, the bad investments, the parties, I could see their shame choking them. Noah himself stormed in mid-conversation, still dressed in branded clothes he probably hadn't paid for. When he saw me, he smirked. "And who's this?" "Another investor dumb enough to throw money our way." He didn't even know. My own twin brother never even asked who I was. That's when I decided, It was time to reveal the truth. No more secrets. No more pretending. On the same streets where they once abandoned me, I stood in front of the very people who called me a mistake. But this time, I wasn't the helpless baby girl they threw away. I was the woman who held the power to decide their fate. And trust me, revenge tastes better when it's served cold. Years had passed. Their so-called golden boy, my twin brother, had destroyed everything. He had gambled away their wealth, lost their family mansion, and even got arrested for fraud. My parents, who once lived like royalty, were now wandering from one shelter to another, begging for help. And one rainy evening, fate brought them straight to my office doors. I still remember that moment. I was sitting inside my glass-walled boardroom, overlooking the city skyline, when my secretary entered. "Ma'am, there are 2 people outside. They look desperate. They say they used to know you." I frowned. "Send them in." And when the door opened, my heart skipped a beat. There they were. My parents. The same people who abandoned me like trash. But now, they looked nothing like the proud, arrogant couple I remembered from the stories. They were broken. Clothes torn, eyes hollow, hands shaking. My mother spoke first, her voice trembling. Please, we heard you help families in crisis. Our son, he ruined us. We have nothing left. No home, no food. Please help us." For a moment, I just stared at them. The little girl inside me wanted to scream. Where were you when I needed you? When you abandoned me in the arms of a stranger? But instead, I smiled politely and said, "Of course. Have a seat." They sat nervously, looking around at the luxurious office that clearly showed my success. My father, once so proud, now lowered his eyes. "You're wealthy, powerful. Please, we need money. We need a roof over our heads. Our son, he was supposed to take care of us, but he destroyed everything." I leaned forward slowly, my eyes locked on theirs. "Your son? The boy you chose, over me?" They froze. My mother's eyes widened. What do you mean?" I stood up, walking towards the large family portrait on my wall. It wasn't of them. It was of me and the woman who raised me, the poor woman who gave me everything even when she had nothing. I touched the frame gently. My real mother taught me love doesn't come from blood. It comes from sacrifice. Unlike you two. My father's face went pale. "Wait, are you saying?" I turned back, my voice sharp, trembling with rage I'd buried for years. "Yes, I am that little girl. The daughter you threw away. The twin you left behind." The room went silent. My mother covered her mouth, tears spilling from her eyes. "No, this can't be. We were told you. Dead." I interrupted. "No, I lived. I fought. And I built everything you see around you. Without you." They both broke down, begging for forgiveness. "Please, we were young, we made mistakes. Please, give us a chance. We're your parents." I laughed bitterly. Parents? Parents don't abandon their child. Parents don't pick one twin over the other like picking fruit from a basket. You don't deserve that title. My father tried to reach out, but I stepped back. "Here's the truth. The son you chose destroyed you. The daughter you rejected is the one who holds your survival in her hands today. Tell me, how does that feel?" They sobbed, dropping to their knees. "Please, forgive us. We'll do anything. Just don't turn us away." For a long moment, I stayed quiet, letting their cries echo in the room. And then, I said slowly, "I'll help you, but not because you're my parents. I'll help you because the woman who raised me taught me never to be as cruel as you were. You'll have food. You'll have shelter. But you'll live with the truth every single day that your daughter, the one you abandoned, saved you when your golden boy destroyed you. They cried harder, but I felt nothing. No sympathy, no love, just closure. As I walked away, I whispered to myself, revenge isn't about destroying someone. It's about watching them live with the consequences of their choices. And that's how I finally took my revenge. Not by punishing them, but by becoming the very person they never believed I could be. The abandoned daughter, who returned not with hate, but with power. If you enjoyed this story, make sure to subscribe to A_K Revenge Tales for more heart-pounding stories of betrayal, karma, and sweet revenge. Because sometimes, the best stories are the ones life itself writes.